Well, good morning, Flosstube. It is Wednesday, April 10th, I think. I've lost all track of days. We went to we went to renew our passports, and we had to go because little one was under the age of 18 for her passport, and I had to sign a form, and I'm like, "What's the date? Like the 5th?" My kids were like, "No, it's the 9th. You lost 4 days." So anyway, welcome. I'm Lynette. This is Homesteading on the Home Front. We are not in my grandmother's kitchen as we have been for the past couple of videos. The kitchen is being taken over by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tomato seedlings. So we're in a different room for the time being. It's a gorgeous day outside, and I'm itching to get out there in the garden. I have so much to do, but I knew I was overdue for this video and decided to hop on, do a quick catch up, talk about what's going on, and then I can get my hands dirty. So, I do have some FOs to share with you. Let's just start there, shall we? So, the first one, can I find it? Here it is. This one was heavily inspired by Kim, the Contented Stitcher. I saw her do it, and I knew I needed to stitch it too. So way back, I showed a long sign that I got at the thrift store. I think I paid $4 for it, but it says HOME. And the O was like a plastic fake lavender wreath. And so I yanked that off, and I've been stitching round things to take the place of the O. And I haven't been loving the fact that I have to absolutely finish all of them to hang them on the sign, and then a month later I take it down because it's time for another season. So I found someone was talking about these hoopla frames, modern hoopla, and so I ordered one, which like quadrupled the cost of my home sign, but now I can just literally, I don't even have to finish the back. I can just pop it in and hang it on the sign. Wait, maybe that'll be my thumb thing. Okay. Anyway, so this is, I believe it is called Serenity. Do I have it? Yes, right here. Simplicity. Sorry, this is Simplicity by Cottage Garden. And as you can see, I did exactly what Kim did. To the point where I like zoomed in on her Instagram picture and I like counted how many rows down she did. It fit perfectly. So literally I stitched it in this hoop. I cut the fabric, slapped it in here, and hang it on my home sign. Now I do have to paint this. This is unfinished. Because I plan to switch out all of the stitching, I don't know if I'm going to paint this black or silvery gray to match the letters in HME, or maybe even white. I don't know what I'm going to do, but for now it's fine, and I love it. So this was not a planned start at all. But we were going down to Pennsylvania Dutch country, and I knew I wanted something to stitch on in the hotel at night. And so a couple days before I started outlining, and then when we got to Pennsylvania, I just had to fill in the black and the yellows, and it was perfect. And then I think I did a day of subbing where I was able to stitch the flowers quick and easy, done. So that is Simplicity. The next finish that I had was such a relief. So the Barnyard Christmas series, I've talked about it before. I started working on it while we were living in Guam, and that first series came out, right? You guys all remember these. I made serious changes to personalize them to reflect chickens and horses and all the things that my family loves. And then I designed some quilt squares to match. in honor of some of my favorite floss tubers. So I stitched those, many of which were stitched while we were in Guam. I don't think I've yet stitched the actual quilt pattern that came with the set. This was the last quilt that I finished. This was Donna Ray's Quilt Square. And then I took Vanna's idea of stitching the Prairie Schooler animals in the same colors. I didn't do all of them. I think there was a dog that I didn't want to do. And so this was the very last one, and I finished it. It took me a couple days subbing at school. Again, it was great because I could just outline and fill in. And so this series is done. I didn't stitch them all, but I stitched all of the ones that I wanted to. And so now I just have to decide what I'm going to do with them. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be ornaments or pillows, or they may sit in the bag for 5 years. Who knows? Anyway, so that was Barnyard Christmas. Then this one, the last time I visited with you the end of March, this was a whip. This is Above the Sky, Marianne Raywood. When this first came out, I fell deeply in love with it. It was only available from Canadian stores, and I wasn't going to pay the shipping. And so a while later, as 1897 became more available in the States, I hopped on it, and I've been wanting to stitch it for years. And this was finally the year that I got to do it. It was basically the month of March, or no, I'm sorry, the month of February that I used to stitch it, and into March. So, I don't think I made any changes. Does that sound right? I know I didn't put her name in it. But yeah, I think it fits in a 11 by 14 or 10 by 13 frame. So I didn't have to like resize it at all. So all I did here was put my information in instead of Marianne Raywood. Easy peasy. So that one needs to be stretched, framed, so that she is all set to be entered into the fair Labor Day weekend. Every single year, I tell myself I'm going to finish things as I go so that the week before the fair, I'm not mad dashing to get stuff done. We'll see. And then this one is exciting. And again, I don't know how I'm going to finish it. This was also a whip the last time that I came to you, and it is now finished. So let me see how I'm going to do this. It's a long one. Sunday Morning Memories is done. Now, I actually didn't think I brought this with me, but it was tucked into another project bag. But I don't have the actual picture of the original. This is an Elsa Williams kit. Elsa Williams is a company, not the name of the designer. The designer, I believe, is Lou Fuller. It's supposed to be a Kentucky scene. Reminded me a lot of New England, which is why I had to stitch it. So let's talk about some of the changes that I made, if I can remember them as we go. First of all, the original called for 14 count Aida with 2 strands and lots of blending. This is 20 count. So whenever there was blending, I just went and looked at my specialty flosses and took something that might have been close. So you would never know. It's not obvious that that's what I did, but I can't wait to put this side by side next to my friend Amy Gable Stitcher is stitching it and see the difference because she is using the called for blends. So I know this change right here I made. The windmill was originally in like a dark brown and I wanted it to fade into the background. So I did that. Up here, I think it's right here. There was supposed to be some sort of a bell. I took it out, didn't want it, didn't like it. And then in here, there was a snowman with some children playing with the snowman, and I didn't, the fine details, like it looked cartoonish, and I didn't want it. So I just kind of freehanded the foundation and took out the snowman, and all is well. So, can I get it in? Yeah, look at that. It's all in. Sunday morning, there's another companion piece that I'm going to plan to do next winter as my snow day stitch. It actually went way faster than I thought it would. And it turns out we had snow and ice and all kinds of good stuff on like April 6th. Kids had snow day. So I could have finished it then, but I wanted it done. So this was done in March. Or maybe this was done actually, I think the end of February. I was really close, I think, the last time I filmed, and then I finished at the beginning of March because I wanted it done before I started my spring project, which I will talk to you about in a minute. All right, so another whip. I needed something small to stitch on while I waited in the waiting room for hubby to have his first colonoscopy, which compared to horror stories, he had it really easy. He was good to go as far as prep, and he was in and out. So this is not done, and I can't show you the picture because I just have the chart, but this is Be Minty, which was the it was available as a freebie from Heartstring samplery at the Jingle Ball. I saw a preview of it, and it was the whole reason that I joined the Jingle Ball, and it was the only thing I was going to buy. And then it turned out to be a freebie. And then I did buy one of Kathy Haberman's ornaments, which I have no regrets about. All right, and then my last whip is Spring Moon. So at the Stitch New England retreat in October, my friend Stacy and Beth and I decided we all said, we were talking and, oh, I have that and I have that. And we decided we'd do a stitch along and that we would start it the first day of spring because that made sense. And then Amy Gable Stitcher said, oh, I've started it, but I won't stitch on it anymore until the first day of spring. So I started it. Actually, let me undo this for you and we'll see if we can show you the whole thing. I don't know. I am making some changes. So what I've done is I have outlined, because this fill-in is perfect for retreat stitching. All of the leaves need to be filled in. The roof needs to be filled in. Everything here needs to be filled in. Perfect for retreat stitching, which I will talk about in a moment. Now, in the picture, there's the moon and the rabbit. Now, I realize that this is the moon series, right? But I didn't love it, and I wanted to make it square. So this was a really odd size. There was no frame it was going to fit into. So I decided to bring this flower down here and cut it off at the top of the leaves. So I'm going to have a square piece that will fit. I think it's going to fit into an 8-inch frame, 8-inch square frame. So it should be pretty easy. I'm stitching this on 20 count vintage country mocha. Can we talk about dye lots? Because this house is gray. Every picture I've seen of this house is gray. My blue heron is full on baby blue. So I can't decide if I should have waited and gotten some sort of thread that more matched the picture of the house, but I just went with it. So it is what it is. There are some more baby blue colors in the tulips and the flowers, and who knows, we'll see. This beehive, not fun at all. So that's why it's only half done. I did what I could, and then I had to take a break. I needed some easy brainless stitching. And so I am going to bring this with me tomorrow. I am leaving with Amy for Hobby House in the Rochester area. We will be joining, I think there's about 30 others. Last year there were about 25 of us. Um, for what we're calling the Grape Escape Retreat. It kind of came out of a discussion at the first East Hill Farm retreat, because I think Hobby House had just opened, and we're like, hey, you guys need to plan a retreat out there. And so last year was the first one, and I'm going back this year. So can't wait for that. It's going to be fun. There's an Amish store about half an hour past Syracuse that I'm going to take Amy to. And then we're going to get to go see the new Hobby House location and the new store, which is literally right down the road from the hotel. So very excited about that. So that leads me into plans. So I want to get this done by the end of the month. It's spring moon. I want it done so that going into summer, I'm not stitching on spring. And also I have a mania project, which I'll discuss, but I think this is possible. It's just brainless fill in, and it won't get done at the retreat, but hopefully after, I'll get a good chunk of it done. My plan, I think, is to give it a full day at the retreat. And I won't get sick of it because there's greens and there's blues and there's browns and there's different things. I was stitching on this. We started it on March 19th, which was the official first day of spring. And then that weekend, we had a small get together here in town at a historical building. We were able to donate almost $300 to the Friends of the Black Tavern, or whatever the organization is called that upkeeps it. And we had a lovely time. There were, I think, 16 or 17 of us. And I had outlined the roof. That was what I did to start on March 19th. And then I just filled in and filled in and filled in. And I didn't get much done. I maybe got like 4 or 5 rows done that whole day of stitching. And I've, come back and worked on it when my eyes get tired and I just needed something brainless. Or truthfully, this ended up being my March Madness piece. This is what I stitched while we cheered UConn, both men and women's games. And so I got a lot of stitching done, but if the games were really good, I wanted to watch the game, and I didn't want to have to stop and come back and where was I stitching and find my place. So the roof was really good to do during those games because I didn't have to worry about where I was. So anyway, if I was just stitching on the brown, it would be miserable. And I've done that to myself before. When I started Live on Little at the farm, I was just doing the roof, and it's just awful. I don't like stitching dark brown. So anyway, what I was saying was there's enough color variations here where I won't get bored of this. So I think I can give this a whole day at the retreat and make some good progress. I'm not setting any goals for myself because I don't know what I want to stitch on. I don't know if I'll want to start filling in this bottom portion, or if probably what I'll do, because I'm kind of anal and I don't like things unfinished, is I will fill in the basket. I will fill in the roof. I will fill in some of the leaves because this fill in is done, but this isn't. So I'll try to finish what I've started. I may work on this leaf because it started. I may do that just to finish off little pieces. So that's my plan for April. May is Monogamania on Live on Little. I'm also going to give that a full day at the Grape Escape Retreat. There's just so much that needs to be done. And it has to be done by this year because I already stitched in 2024 in the nautical flags. I would really, really, really like to have it done in time for the fair, but there's just so much fill in on that I don't know that it's going to happen. But it'll get a day um, at the retreat. If I finish Spring Moon before the end of April, I may give it another day or two in April, and then Monogamania, it's just going to be Live on Little. The problem is May is also the height of garden season. I sell heirloom tomato seedlings. I'm getting my cut flower plants in the ground. And so most of my free time in May is spent outside in the garden. And when I come in at night, I'm just too tired to pick up a needle. So I will not get as much stitching done in May as I would like. But hopefully I can move Live on Little along enough to know if there's hope of finishing it in time for the fair, or if I'm just going to have to work on it for the rest of the year. I really would like to have it done. If it's not done in time for Labor Day, I would really like to have it done by the end of September, because that's kind of a summery project, and I'm a seasonal stitcher, and by the end of September I want leaves and apples and the whole 9 yards. I've got a blackbird autumn project that I want to start this autumn. So yeah, I really want Live on Little done by the end of summer, but we'll see. Dutch Beauty, I didn't bring it with me because I didn't get much done since the last update. I'm working on the third page. I'm closing in on a finish. And so again, if I finish Spring Moon before the end of April, I would like to bring out Dutch Beauty and finish that third page, because that would mean that the top to bottom, the very left-hand side, is all done. There's 21 pages in total. So we'll see. My ideal goal is to finish a page a month, which it takes me about a week of stitching to finish a page. So it's not like difficult. It's just I've got other stuff going on right now. I am going to dedicate Sampler September to Dutch Beauty. So the way I figure it is, if I fall behind now, then I might be able to catch up in September, and then I would love to have it done for the fair in 2025. We'll see. I would, in that case, I would next May, Monogamania would also be for Dutch Beauty. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right. I think that's it for me. Hopefully next time I come back, it'll probably be the beginning of May. Mother's Day weekend, my garden club has a plant sale. The weekend after that, I have the tomato seedling sale here. Farmers market starts up. So hopefully I will come to you the first week in May. I will be able to show you everything that I got done at the retreat. And then all bets are off for the rest of the summer. This is little one's last summer before college. We just found out the Syracuse Marching Band posted their tentative schedule, and she's going to have to be there August 14th. For that's when band camp starts. So I don't even know if she has to be there the 13th or what. Eldest finishes her actuarial internship on August 2nd. So that gives us 12 days of summer with both kids home. So we're going to try to take a trip. Who knows? Life is going to be crazy. So yeah, I cannot guarantee that you will see me this summer. Apologies in advance. It is what it is, but things come down in the fall again, and I think that's when I picked up filming last year. So, all right, hopefully I will be back next month. I wish you lots of good stitching time and lots of beautiful weather to get your hands in the dirt, which is where mine are going right now. Happy stitching, everyone.